Hey y'all, welcome back to another wonderful episode of AWAGBT podcast, the place where you can be an exclusive member of our very entertaining group chats. Today, you guys, we have Josh and Eli with us. How are you guys doing?
What up, y'all?
We doing all right.
How's your week going so far? What was y'all doing? What happened?
Hey, I just want to say, man, I'm sorry to Jason Tatum. I got to get my sports talk off, especially with Eric gone. Jason Tatum tore his Achilles. I'm sad about that.
Man.
The Cavs are done for, but Boston still won. So I don't know. That's enough sports talk. But shout out my dog, Jason Tatum.
How long you think he gonna be out for?
Oh, shoot. At least probably at least 10, 11 months.
Ooh,
He's not coming back until the playoffs, but probably not till a whole year after.
Yeah. We might not even see him on a court. Ooh, shout out to you. Side note, did you see Mavericks got the first draft pick?
Hey, they're rigging the NBA. They are rigging it.
1,000%
And you know what? Shout out to
rigging it.
Trees.
1,000% rigging it. But if it had to go somewhere to somebody, it had to be rigged. Shout out to it being rigged in my city. Anyway,
but also, man, we got Big Brother news. Oh my gosh, Big Brother Elite.
Yes.
I want to talk about that over the Gosh Dang Survivor, but you know what? We'll hold.
We'll talk about it at the end. We'll talk about Big Brother because I'm so excited. We finally got a date, but I'm excited. But Josh, what about you? How's your week going so far?
You know me, I'm really been going so far so good. I went back home to be my mama for Mother's Day.
Yes, happy Mother's Day to the mothers.
Yeah, I couldn't. Well, I didn't get her a real gift because now I finally got my settlement money in.
Come on, settlement.
I made a pot of gumbo for her birthday.
Listen,
for
Mother's Day. Okay, come on, gumbo. Cooking in the kitchen, chef.
Well, you know how I do.
I ain't mad at it. All right, Eli, take us off. What happened in tonight's episode?
Shoot, of course, we're coming off of a shocking episode of Mary getting voted out, and start off with Mitch. Just happy that he's in the final six. Now everyone can play the game. It's open game. It's time to final. There's no larger alliances left. It's just the six that got there together.
Yep.
But of course, Eva then says she can't use the safety without power anymore. And what did she said? Safety for my whole team is more important than safety for myself. And that's what I love in Survivor. This is my favorite team game.
I'm about to say that pissed me off so much. Because you say you want to protect your allies, you want to make sure you protect your boys, but it's to protect your team.
There are no teams.
Y'all merged like 7 episodes ago.
No.
What are you talking about the team?
It's final six. No teams. At this point, you can protect who you think you can beat.
And
you know what I'm saying?
Hey.
No.
Hey.
I can't see on my screen. It just my blood pressure raised about 15 points.
Hey, pretty kitty. Hey, she did something even more egregious at the end of this episode. I don't care. Her not playing an idol, we'll get to it. But that is even more crazy to me than her not doing safety without power.
It's ridiculous.
All because Camilla said so. We'll get to it. But Eva's plan, of course, is, it's just time to get rid of the people that aren't in the four. Mm-hmm. And the four are talking, and it's, all right, do we want Mitch or Camilla? They're somewhat leaning Mitch. Don't really care. And we get, oh my gosh, Kyle has never said this before. He's planning on using his head more than his heart this episode. And he has not been saying that for 5 straight episodes.
Jesus. It's time.
But then I think Kyle comes back with Tree Mill, pretty much hyping up the reward challenge. Mm-hmm. Shaheen's pretty much like another arm competition, shows off his legs. Shout out to showing off your legs. That they and he said there has been a I'd argue that the hanging on the gosh dang pole is a leg competition because what was Eva saying? She said that was my thick thighs or whatever she was saying.
Really?
So
I think it'd be more arms, no?
I think it's both, but I think he's talking somewhere like, I think we got to use your foot to bounce like the vase on the thing. Something that's like purely just legs.
That makes sense.
But he then said something a little more shocking to me. I don't know about y'all, but he's saying, oh, everyone's coming up to me saying that Joe's playing the best game.
Oh.
But it's so clear I'm playing the best game. And I was confuzzled.
Does everybody else know this? Or
does the viewing audience know this?
Okay, does the audience know it? The jury keeps saying Joe, 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 Joe. Where's Shane at? Where's Shane? If everyone's saying Joe out the door, what makes you think that you're the name that's gonna be Joe?
It really just blows my mind, the simple fact that y'all know for a fact, it's not even fiction, for a fact. No. This is not a fallacy, okay? That Joe is the person at the end that is going to win against every single person that is left in this game. Like, they know it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, he gonna keep winning these immunities, and it's like, at this point, getting ahead a little bit. At this point, if you can't get Joe, get who's close to him. And the issue is with that is he got quite a few people close to him. So, but I feel like it's too late at this point in the game. Like, the people are dwindling down. He has the higher chance of winning more immunities, you know? So, I don't know.
I mean, each week it felt like it was, we could maybe get Joe, but Joe won. And then Joe loses an immunity. And it's like, what? I guess we'll get out Mary.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. It's like, if Joe played a game where he just comped out, that wouldn't be as impressive because, like, they really had no opportunity to take him out. The fact that they let him survive around where he had no safety, where they know everyone who before they leave say, we need to take out Joe. We need to take out Joe. Joe is a big threat. The person who thinks Joe's a big threat is now a jury member.
Yeah.
So I feel like the fact that y'all let him escape around, actually, they increased his like favor in the jury.
Yeah.
Because, like, for me, if I'm a juror, I know someone with a big target like that, they let them escape through, even if through no help of their own. Because I really don't think Joe really did anything to like necessity like save himself. I think that everybody else is just inability to make a move. But either way, I'm still gonna be like, with my limited knowledge of the game, I'm gonna be like, now wait a minute. What kind of game is he? What kind of social game he got? To the fact that he was untouched by everybody when he was all vulnerable.
And little does the jury know he could have, should have, would have been untouched this episode too, even if he didn't win immunity. Of course, you never know what happens, but it is crazy that Joe's just. It's crazy that he's still here despite his threat level and jury, and he has great jury management too. You can't be like, oh, he's pissing off the jury. Who is he pissed off?
Well, it might be better in retrospect when he like explains his game, because like honestly, a gameplay like this for someone who actually values like playing the game would piss me off. Just this honor and integrity BS. But like if he's there with other people that are playing the same game, where it's like, well, I saw like. I don't know. There's potential for being bitter because you can never discount potentially bitter jurors.
That's true, and Shaheen is definitely going to be bitter, I feel. There is
you know who's... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. That's all I was saying.
Oh, I was just going to say, you know whose game this kind of reminds me of, who I'm scared Joe might be like in Final Tribal Council, is Mike Turner from Marianne season. I just remember he got to the end, kind of just felt like he was dominating, kind of being the mob boss a little bit, but just couldn't articulate it and kept going the,
you know what?
If I remember right, going the honor route over then, hey, I played y'all.
I was literally thinking that, of course, we're just jumping all over the place. But my mind is like, of course, Joe is the shoe-in to win. But like, honestly, what big move has Joe did so far? Besides winning immunity?
Yeah, because honestly,
and everybody has an opportunity to do that. Like, what? Like, we get it. You're here for your family. You know, he had a very touching story about his sister, and you know, he has a great story. He's, you know, pretty close with most of the people that are on the island, some of the people that are in the jury. Okay, cool. So what moves did you make to get yourself in this chair, Joe?
All he gonna be able to say is make this alliance and like
everyone made an alliance. Next.
Yeah, that's all he got.
Did you orchestrate anything?
Well,
me and Eva, as soon as he say me and Eva, I'm like, I don't want to hear
that. And was it even Joe's idea to get the strong people together? In my mind, that was David that kind of led that charge.
Yeah, that was David.
So I don't know.
So
Joe just gets it.
But. Going into the was it the reward challenge, right? This was the reward challenge. So Josh, tell us about the reward challenge. I know you like to talk about the challenge.
All right, for an interesting change of pace, we had an endurance challenge for reward.
Shout out Couture.
It's kind of new because I thought it was going to be something like Last Gasp where they got to hold their breath underneath the pole in the water. That's what I thought it was going to be.
Did they stop doing that? Shouldn't we have seen that by now?
No, they do it like every other season. So it's like they do like every year.
I think it was like 43, the one Gabler one. I remember it on that one.
Mm-hmm.
They like outlasted it or something.
Wasn't that one the tie where they went to a tie because it was taking too long?
Yep.
Yeah. So I know they've done they brought it back a few times in the new era, and whatever. But this challenge,
they got them in the pouring rain. Boy, I would have been. I'm gonna go on and call them. They don't get them umbrellas. I would not be a survivor. I'm gonna just say that I would not be a survivor. But go ahead, Josh.
But since on a side note, low key, we ain't seen no catastrophic weather like we've been seeing in the past. Like we
haven't seen it in a minute.
Hey, vacation to Fiji.
Our production schedule up just like 1 month, so it's closer to winter. So it's like or whatever, so you can actually get more tropical storms because that means
monsoon season. I don't want them in like monsoon season, but I like 2 weeks before or something. Like let's stir it up a little bit because from what I know, like when I was younger, I dabbled in Survivor. I didn't really get into it until a couple years ago. But I remember like watching episodes, and I was just like, "Oh, they tripping." They was in the rain, trees falling. Okay, guys, we're gonna have to back away. We're gonna have to move you to another island. It's getting that bad, and here go a leaf for y'all to cover up in. So it really feels like this is like luxury Survivor now. But it was fun to see them like get rained on. It really was. I ain't gonna lie.
Especially during an endurance challenge, and then so they do this endurance challenge. They got to hold themselves up against a slanted slide thing, whatever, on the water. And they got to keep moving down. The handholds get smaller and smaller. Last person left standing wins immunity. Not immunity, wins reward. They go to the sanctuary where they get, what was it, burgers and fries? What was it?
Burgers, fries,
beer, letters from home, and a good night's sleep over there.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. They get to spend the night in a bed. It'll be comfortable-ish.
I hope they got to take a shower. Probably not.
Yeah,
but I would have enjoyed that. I really would have. Speaking of in the challenge, I'm glad they called Eva out. She tried to brace herself, and she used her feet to slide back up. She was just like, Jeff was like, get off. And then Joe slid right down there with her. I really thought, I was like, y'all, we really had a game. It almost slipped my mind, and I was thinking this was the immunity. Boy, I was jumping. I said, oh, shit, this is just a reward challenge. I was
so much. I was like,
I forgot.
This challenge should have been switched.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to know what had me laughing a little bit, though, with Eva? Her stomach growling. She has not been on a single reward all season.
And you know what? I was just gonna say, excuse me, it absolutely pissed me off because out of all the stomachs growling, yours have the nerve to growl.
It's probably because it's recently empty. It's recently empty, where all the other ones have just been empty this whole time.
The others, their bodies can't even, their stomachs can't even growl because it's so weak. At least our stomach can growl. At this point,
the girl is just insufferable. Cause here's stuff like that where just you just pissed me. You just upset my innards.
Not the innards. I'm cracking up.
Camilla goes first, and then Mitch, and then Eva got DQ'd because they get to the point where they get the last handhold. They say they got to just be stretched out like Jesus on the cross. Just legs just out, no more like bending your legs and trying to use your feet for leverage. Mm-hmm. So Eva fall, where Eva go, Joe go. So Joe dropped it right after. It's a battle between Cheyenne and Kyle. And
Cheyenne talking about a sit he had. I was like, boy, shut up and stay up there.
Yeah, so Cheyenne wins. He finally wins some woo, and he has to choose 2 people to come with him. He felt sorry for Joe, so he definitely picked Joe. And he was like, Kyle was like, oh, he getting married like in a month, so let me go ahead and pick Kyle too.
What they got to do with anything?
Dude, I'd rather have Joe sadder. You don't want to give him that extra boost right at the end of the game, though. I guess that's been the mindset. We want the strong people being strong, so I want Joe to be really happy and well fed going into the last.
Well, you know what?
3 days.
I guess it somewhat does make sense because at that point in time, Cheyenne wasn't against Joe at that moment. He wasn't like, "Ooh, Joe gotta go." You know what I'm saying? Which technically he never was to some extent until he, started getting suspicious, jumping ahead. So I guess it makes sense. Like, I'm gonna bring my team, to go eat. But like, man, it's Final 6 at this point. It's Final 6. I'm bringing the people who I'm like, okay, I need to make a big move. Let me see how I can do that. I can't do that with my allies. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Maybe that's what. I don't know. I'm just thinking off the top of my head.
No, if it was a more season where people actually had more dynamic season and people were actually playing strategically, yeah. But on this Kumbaya loyalty and everything, raw crap, yeah, it makes sense that he just chooses his boys.
Like Mitch and Camilla, like that would have been a, huh?
No, I'm not gonna lie. The other 3, that would have hurt Cheyenne even more when we get later into this episode.
They would have
hurt him so much.
Been pissed. Yeah, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, at the sanctuary, they get their letters, and of course they're kind of bonding over. Well, first, Joe's letter from his. Or I guess Cheyenne reads his letter. Joe gets his letter from his son, and it's kind of like, I love you, Dad. You're the best dad ever. And it's just so, it's really cute. And I think it's also this stretch where they also bond, or where Kyle reads his letter from his dad, and Joe and Cheyenne, both of their fathers have passed. So connecting even more on a deep, deep level in this moment. And Joe starts to kind of, I guess this is a prelude to him talking about him and his sister and kind of reconnecting in that way, talking about, oh, we're in Final 6. That's her number, 6 letters in her name, and kind of opening up about the fact that they fought on the night that she passed away, and they weren't able to talk after, and kind of that was their last conversation, which
that's tough.
Also talks about it later, but special touching moment, just grounded in, I guess, humanity. I don't know if that's the actual phrase, but cutting back to the people not at the sanctuary, Mitch and Camilla, hey, they're upset. They're upset. Why would you feed the one guy that we need to get out?
Mitch was pissed. Mitch was like, how are you going to feed the person that's the most competitive? I was like, Mitch, we've been saying the same thing.
Not just that, no. The question is like, the real statement is, why y'all let him get to a point where he could be taken on the reward? Y'all should have taken his ass out last round.
Yeah. Rounds ago, if we're being real. But if Mitch wasn't acting like a little kitty cat, a move might have could have been made. And now you complaining? Mitch, I was like, close those lips. You can't say nothing.
Down, be hungry. That's what you get.
Because y'all could have made a move. But y'all had
7. Y'all could have pulled in the majority.
Yep.
You had the perfect shot. Oh, it's going to be interesting to see how things work when we get to the finale next week. It's going to be interesting to see how crazy things look in hindsight.
Mm-hmm.
Because they only look crazy in the foresight.
Yeah, right. Camilla says that. So Camilla was talking and she says that Shaheen might have sealed his fate if Joe wins the immunity at this moment. She's like, he's already like pissed us off. You've already taken the person that's likely to beat all of us to this reward. So if she can get Mitch, she said Mitch is pissed. Let me see if I can fuel the fire a little bit. Maybe we can make that move. So that starts the beginning moves of putting the idea of if Joe is not available, then Shaheen might be next. Hey, Miss Deborah. Eva.
And then,
oh,
yeah. Oh no, I was just about to say Eva hit the little Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob meme where they're just reaching for each other, but without you or whatever. Because she's like, oh, I'm missing out on boys' night. Why can't I be at boys' night? I want my burger. Hopefully they name a burger after me or something.
Girl, what am I thinking about you?
I'm not even thinking about you. Like, the fact that we got your confessional, it just changed the whole mood of, like, the tone. Like, they pissed off you over here, like, gee, shucks, I wish I could have gone too, but I know my boys having a good time. I hope they're having a cheers to me. And they think about
she's actually going to be pissed at first, somewhat. And then she's like, oh, no, I don't care. I love my boy. My team is getting fed, so I'm getting fed.
Pick me. We get it, Eva. We get it, girl.
But cutting back to the sanctuary, I guess people had to use the bathroom or do confessionals or something like that, because you got just Shaheen and Kyle sitting there. Oh, wait. No. Shaheen and Joe sitting there first. And Shaheen's like, hey, do we need to get rid of Kyle now? And Joe kind of shuts that down immediately.
He like, really did.
Like, we'll cut him at 4.
And Joe said that he thinks that they'll beat. Was it Shaheen that said, do you think like Kyle could beat us? He's like, we'll beat both of them.
Yeah. Wait. Both me and you easily beat them.
We'll both. Yeah, that's what I've been saying.
And what? Joe even says, hey, in the end, it's me, you, and Eva. So it's like, that's. And of course, he's talking to Shaheen. So
true.
What up, EAR Chronicles? EAR Chronicles.
EAR
Chronicles.
Y'all have it? Click on that little name right there and go follow the EAR Chronicles. Bam.
Whoever that is.
Back to regular scheduled programming.
But then get some Shaheen confessional saying, oh, it's all gas, no brakes time. Is it time for me to be Icarus and fly too close to the sun? And he's sitting there with Kyle saying, well, first they stare at each other for like 30 seconds. Like, are you going to say it? Are you going to say it?
So awkward. I said, what's going on here?
You're going to make out or something? What's going on?
And finally, Shane starts to slowly pitch Joe, saying things like, oh, you think you can beat the firemen at fire? When are we actually going to get them out? And Shane says, hey, we have to get Joe out, and we can't be the fireman at fire making, so we have to get Eva out right now.
Great plan. Great plan. And I'm gonna be very real. I do think in that moment, I think Shaheen was being truthful. I think he really was shooting to take out Eva. And I wish they would have went with that plan.
Instead that they could have went with it, because Kyle heard that, said, this is exactly what I wanted, cutting Joe's numbers. So it's time to go after Shaheen.
Which is a number for Joe, but do y'all think, okay, based off the jury, do y'all think Eva would have a likelier, higher chance of winning over Shaheen, or would Shaheen win?
I think if the jury caught wind of how men-centered Eva is, I think
it turned them sour.
Yeah, but I do think, in general, I trust Shaheen's ability to talk and articulate himself better.
Yes, same.
Than Eva.
He articulates himself very well.
Because, like, I can say for Shaheen, like, you can say, like, oh, he actually faced some fire in this game. Like, he actually, like, he had his name written down a few times. He's actually had to overcome things.
Yep.
In this game as opposed
to... Wait,
Eva,
has Eva ever got her name written down?
No.
I don't believe so. Or did one of no, I doubt that Say or
I don't think so.
Charity wrote her name down out of whatever.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, they end up getting back to camp the next day, and Kyle immediately sprints to Camilla saying, "Hey,
the episode picks up.
It's time for us to devise our second master plan of the season."
What's the master plan?
Master plan is, hey, I'm gonna go up to Joe and say, "Hey, I heard from Camilla that Shine showed her the idol and that he's gonna flip things on you." And Camilla's pretty down for this plan.
Camilla's like, bleh.
Yeah.
Camilla really in this moment, sorry, in this moment, Camilla is very much, as long as it ain't me.
That's Sandra in her.
I love it. I love it, hands down. Camilla, regardless of what this girl ended up placing, she is on my roster. She is so funny. But go ahead.
And the funny thing is, in prefacing this, Kyle ends up saying, "Hey, this plan will get at least both of us to Final Four and at least one of us to Final Three." It's like, hey, yeah, y'all both got to try to make Final Three. I don't care, Kyle. At this point, you got to make sure it's you and Camilla. We got to stop the we. And I know y'all are friends, but what I need to make Final Three, not one of us. But
all right.
Then, Joe had me. I thought Joe was about to like lock in on something. He did lock in, but Joe said it's time. He got up, and then it was him pretty much talking to his sister that's passed.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty beautiful, just good moment of him reflecting, kind of letting go of that weight on his shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I know there's times where we talk about, hey, don't bring the past into it, but the fact that his sister is pretty much the reason why he applied, just because she loved the show and the fact that they're able to connect.
She wanted to apply. I don't know if we got word of that before, so that was kind of sweet that he kind of did the show in her honor. So all game aside, it was a touching moment.
Yep.
Yeah, I would just ask for me, all I ask is that these moments happen organically, and that they can directly tie into something that's happened in the game.
Yes.
Or like what person's reason why for being on Survivor.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect example of like the emotional kind of stuff that makes perfect sense. This is the kind of stuff I want to see.
It flowed. It didn't seem forced.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's the fact that we know Joe. Like, we've gotten to know Joe over how many episodes have there been? Gosh dang, feels like a bajillion. But what? There's a early in the new era. It's like, oh, they're dropping this stuff on episode 1, episode 2. And it's like, hey, cool. Good to know that this person is, I'm only going to remember them from their trauma and not nothing else. So,
right.
Yeah. All right. And then we get to the immunity challenge that Joe's not going to win. Josh, you want to take that?
Okay. So we got a typical multi-step obstacle course and then final task at the end as an equalizer. Rinse and repeat.
Haven't seen this before.
We had some new elements and stuff.
It's a little different at the end, but the same concept.
Yeah, so first they had to go and throw like a beanbag up to knock off the what was that called? A monkey's knuckle? Well, the rope thing was called? It was called a monkey something. Even they had to toss it up.
I don't know what it was.
They had to go and toss it into the hook to lock it in, and then use the rope to balance on a barrel. I was like, that is fun. They should do that more often.
That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, so then they got to crawl underneath the rope, get their balls, and then they got to do that big sliding. Well, this part's kind of new too. You got to use like a little spatula thing to work through the little table maze to put the 2 balls in the long, snake, windy anaconda table maze.
Mm-hmm.
And Eva was on the struggle bus. She could not get her little beanbag to knock off that little ball up on top. And I was like, damn, that ball's going every which way but straight up.
How do you mention what? That's a phrase. She couldn't hit the side of a barn. Like, that's how bad she was missing.
Yeah, she was struggling.
Yeah, but we see low key, Mitch and Joe kind of out to an early kind of lead, and Shaheen's there too. And then we see, what is it? Shaheen gets to the puzzle first, or gets to the maze first. And Joe right behind, and everyone starts making their way over. And then, surprise, surprise, we had something unexpected happen. Joe won immunity.
What? Oh.
When he got that first ball in, child, I went and grabbed me a snack. I was like, oh, like
Survivor was making me laugh. The fact that they tried to make it seem close. Like I knew it was over when they're like, oh, Eva's right on his tail. Man, she just started her second ball. What do you mean she's right on his tail? Joe has so much time.
And even then, at that point, I was still checking out too. It's like, damn, at least one of them's gonna win. And I think, okay, all hopes of potentially getting one of these people out is gone, because you need both of them to be vulnerable after the immunity challenge.
Yep. Because of course Eva has her idol, so she's gonna play her idol on the other person, of course. Yeah.
See, for me, I came with this episode thinking it's gonna be y'all could, as long as one of them don't win immunity, y'all could do like a 2-2-2 vote, so you can be guaranteed to get one of them no matter who Eva plays her idol on.
Right.
But of course, Joe wins, so my fantasy booking is out the window.
I'm cracking up. So let me see what happens after that.
Pretty much, you got Kyle, back to camp, and Kyle's pretty much saying, "Hey, Joe winning, it doesn't help because Joe, we saw, I think that was last week, right? Kind of lose his mind a little bit when there's a little bit more pressure on him.
Yeah,
and Kyle's like, oh, I can't." He has this more stable mind with him being safe, but Kyle's plan begins, and he tells Joe, "Hey, Shane flipped. He flipped." And
you could see the little explosion go off in Joe's head. Like he was just flabbergasted.
And at the same time, he still smelled a little bit of BS. Like he wasn't all the way.
That intuition.
He believed it, but also he's like, hey, have we ever thought about that duo of Kyle and Camilla? I don't know. It still could be a thing.
Right.
And also reflecting, just in my head, if Shaheen had an idol and Eva's idol can only be played till final 6, Shaheen's gonna play his idol and just be safe. So I also don't get that narrative unless, of course, I think he was saying, oh, he's gonna play the idol on Mitch instead.
Right.
But still, I'm like, saying someone has an idol when it's the last chance to play an idol. If I was Shane, I'd use that on myself if he actually had one.
Mm-hmm.
But Joe then talks to his confidant, talks to Eva,
his bestie,
and spills the beans. And Eva says, "Oh, it's a gut punch, man. My boys, what's happening?" And
what was interesting in that conversation, though, Joe was trying to figure out who. He's like, I don't know, something just doesn't feel right. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody got to be lying, but we got to figure out. Is it Shaheen lying about the idol? Is it Kyle running this story, or is it Camilla like just trying to stir the pot and make some mess? But what I did find interesting is that Eva was like, I trust Kyle, and I'm like, huh, where'd that come from? But you know what? Stick with that. Let's just blame it on Shaheen. But anyways, go ahead, Eli.
Oh, it's probably because they've been kind of hinting at Shaheen for weeks, and that idol too for a while. But then right after that conversation, Joe runs up. He says, "Oh, I gotta talk to Camilla."
I'll figure this out.
And Camilla said, "Let me get my Oscar performance."
She said, "Ooh, it's my turn to lie." I said, "Girl, what's that girl in the Big Brother house?" Ooh, she was so excited. I need more confessionals. I need y'all to release more confessionals of Camilla's because I know they were funny. But go ahead.
And Camilla pretty much runs Shaheen over and says, "Oh yeah, he showed me the beads, and he said we're getting you out."
She didn't really do. She didn't give too much detail. She just gave enough. She said, "I don't know. He showed it to me. He said, he just opened up his bag and I saw a necklace and some beads. Like she didn't give too much. She didn't give too little." And I was like, "Girl, don't give too much," because Joe already suspicious. He was just like, "Okay, you did. Kyle did say that. You did confirm it. So he was like, do I believe it? Do I not? Go ahead.
And he decided, oh, let me go to the person in question. Let me ask Shaheen some questions. But Joe decided to tiptoe around the whole conversation and not really address it directly.
So
where he's
awkward.
like, hey, what was the plan? Oh, get rid of Mitch. Well, what happened if I would have lost immunity? Oh, yeah, we're good. We're good.
Are we?
Joe just like passive aggressive, like just side eyeing him, like
so
getting
awkward.
frustrated.
And I really feel like, jumping ahead, I feel like low key Joe's kind of outbursts could also be a part of like bad jury management.
Yes.
Because someone was like, if we're supposed to be locked in, you're not over here like being honest with me and stuff, and you just kind of tiptoeing around and having these like strange little outbursts that seem so out of character for you, supposed to be level headed as a firefighter and stuff. I'm just like, I don't know if I like that.
Joe, listen, Joe right now, and I can speak to this because this is me. When you have a set plan put into place, like, okay, this is how it's going to go. This is how it's going to go. And for the most part, the things that Joe has wanted to happen, that's for the most part happened. And so now he's at a point in the game where it's finally getting close to the end of the game. And he's like, something is not going right. And he is just about to lose his mind. Like when my plans don't go, I'm like, oh my God, what do I get flustered. We definitely saw flustered Joe in this episode. And I gotta say, it was entertaining to watch. I really wish we could see the unedited clip of Shaheen and Joe, because I feel like that conversation was so long and there were so many pauses. And I just want to be there for the awkwardness, because Shaheen was like, you can tell something like, am I tripping? Is there something going on? Oh no, is there something going on? Nah, not my man Joe. Huh? What? What's the? Both of them were just going like this in the head, like, it was entertaining to watch, but awkward at the same time.
Man, it feels like a Big Brother conversation, just something you see on feeds where it's like, all right, we have all the intel, and then they just put a little snippet of it in the episode. Go ahead, Josh.
I was gonna say, I guarantee you that conversation about maybe like 15 minutes actual in length, but like 2 minutes on TV screen.
Yes.
Come on CBS, show the unedited footage, put it on YouTube, put it on Paramount Plus.
Yes, right.
Man, they could utilize Paramount Plus and all the extra stuff so much, but I digress. And finally, before Tribal, Shane talks to Kyle, and it's like, hey, Mitch is still the plan, right? Of course. Sure. And then gosh dang, you see Camilla talking to Eva saying, hey, you don't need to use her idol unless Shaheen plays his idol. And I'm like, this is the last chance to play. And man, you convinced her to not play her idol, and you aren't going after her. Are you kidding me? And why is Eva saying yes to that? Camilla, it's not one of your core people.
I think it works in Camilla's favor, because she's like, hey, don't play your idol. But hey, knowing there's no idol, if Shaheen used that idol, I want you safe. I want you here on this. I need you to remember that I told you to use that idol because I want you safe. I want you here, right? If he used it, girl, you pull that idol out. She's like, yeah, girl. Knowing there is no damn idol in that man backpack. So I give it to Camilla. I know there's another convention where she's just like,
No. And actually, one more thing I wanted to backtrack over. So, like, when Shaheen and Kyle were talking, and like Shaheen was like briefing Kyle like his weird interaction with Joe or whatever, and then he's like, I think Joe would be the person to get out, but he got immunity, so we should go after Eva. And they talking, I was like, but really, what the game plan is, we got to go after Mitch. I'm like, after all that, you still ended up on one to go after Mitch.
But like, why was that your plan? Oh, we're just gonna cakewalk to 5 and then 4 and somehow beat Joe at fire.
Right.
I don't get it. But yeah, then we get to Tribal. I don't think much happened at Tribal.
This is what happened at Tribal.
Oh. No, for real, like
Yeah, just mid conversation. That's what they did. They just muffled the conversation, just focusing on Joe. How'd I forget about that? I was freaking out. I was sending texts like, "Am I good? Am I tripping?"
No, I saw it. I was like, Evans, what the hell are y'all doing? Like, why are you focusing on Joe? Like, you over here trying to psychoanalyze, like, use mind reading to try to figure out what Kyle and Shaheen are both saying right now in this moment. They're telling the truth or lying. Like, your special powers at Tribal Council.
Because I kind of like the fact that Tribal has always been, to me, of course, casual fan. I'm like, oh, this is pretty much unedited. I know it's a lot longer and all that, but it feels so unedited and it feels so just the contestants and Jeff. That's it. No editors, no confessionals, no anything. So seeing editing at that point had me cocking my head a little bit. I was like, huh? But then, yeah, that was pretty much the only thing from Tribal I remember. Get to the votes. Jeff reads it out. I think it was Shaheen, Mitch. I saw that second Mitch one. I'm like, no, they did not trick a second. They did not just all five.
I said the same thing too. I said, all this for Mitch to just be the vote again. This will be the worst season I've ever watched in real time.
I really thought Kyle was gonna be in trouble, so I was just like, "Ooh, glad I didn't hear his name," because I really thought the whole thing he was confused on who to believe between Shaheen and Kyle. So,
and then you get 3 more Shaheens spelled differently. Apparently, still don't know why Camilla voted for Mitch. I don't know if that's her trying to stay out the drama. There's 5 people left, Camilla. But she voted for Mitch to go, which is interesting.
Yeah, I wonder why she did that.
We'll talk Shaheen out at 6.
I don't know, maybe to further solidify final 5, it's the Mitch, Camilla, and Kyle against Joe and Eva.
And listen, not only is Mitch out, Eric is out the draft. No, that's the reason why he not here tonight, because he knew he was gonna get kicked out the draft.
Man, look at my draft. My draft outlasted Eric's, despite me having no inequity since episode 1. My draft has survived past Eric's.
I gotta be real. Eli, it's not looking good for you. At this point, it's me a job.
We've had conversations about this. I know I've lost since week 3.
It's not looking good. But in important news, Eric is out the draft, and we always want to beat him because it's fun. So I'm glad. Sorry to that man.
I'm not sorry.
But any takeaways from the episode?
Well, I know I gotta see how the finale works out next week to see how the implication of voting out Shaheen.
Wait, the finale next week?
Next week, no 2-parter either. No 2-parter, just a straight 2-hour finale.
Next week.
Wait, that's actually that is kind of crazy, right? This is the first single part finale in a while.
Good, get to it. That mean ain't nothing happened. Get to it.
My memory's bad, but yeah, they're about to get to it. Get straight to, or is it 3 hours with the gosh dang?
With the little reunion thing, yeah.
Reunion.
They're doing 3 hours.
I don't know if I care that much. No, I'm kidding.
Don't.
Well, like I said, that's what I'm going to be saying. That's why I'm interested to see the decision to go after Shaheen over trying to take out Eva with her idol. I just got. I really still don't make that much sense to me why I made the move.
Right.
I still really can't. I was actively over here intent I hear you. It doesn't. The math doesn't math, quite frankly. You're close, but you're trying to spell Shaheen, which her name is spelled EVA. It's spelled Eva.
It's a misspelling. They should have got out Eva. Eva would have left if they all spelled her name right.
Dang, she would have. Oh, it would have been so entertaining because she would have left with the idol in her pocket.
Man, but she made it to the finale, so Eva, stand up. But speaking of no idols, let's talk about season 50. Jeff presented us, do we want a season with no idols? Which means a very simple game where just you can't sway anything and all you need is an alliance? Or do we want idols to be in play where you can shift up the game and potentially win from the bottom and create a crazy play?
I'm gonna be real. I feel like they put this question in here purposely because they want to say no idols. Could be wrong, but I feel like they're just gonna have a reward that's like an idol, anyways. Like
season
that's
50
like
new thing. Season idols are done. We have a new thing you can.
That's what I think. So I say yes, idols, but
it'd be interesting to say if they have these all these about all these different advantages and stuff like that, and not have idols. It'd be I kind of be interested to see like in a season that was like focused on advantages that weren't just pure safety. Like if they had like instead of idols, they had like more safety without powers. I'd be interested to see that.
And let's be real, like in the last couple of seasons, like there hasn't been a lot of moments where the idol using an idol was like a thrill. It's kind of like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So it's like slowly as, you know, as time goes on, like the power of the idol is like, oh, yay, because people use it when it's not at a heightened part of the game a lot of times. So it's just like, it's not as exciting anymore. So I could care less if y'all did idols or didn't, because they're going to have some kind of reward. They're going to have some kind of advantage. So yeah, it's really up in the air for me, honestly.
And I'll say this. If you are doing a season with no idols, don't tell them that there are no idols.
Yes. Have them look for them. Yes. Every week.
Great point.
Have them waste some time paying a target on their back looking for idols that ain't there. Actually, don't hide nothing at the thing. Have every advantage come from either fighting at the challenge or on the island as a little getaway. Don't hide nothing on the island itself.
And you want to know what would be really funny? I want Jeff to be like, this is a new season, okay? And we're going to do new things. And the new thing we're going to do, there is a new number of idols out there, okay? I'm not going to tell you what, but just know that there is a new number that has never been done before in the amount of idols that is on this island. They're going to think it's more. No way. What if there's none?
Sure, go let this person go find it.
So funny. That would be so funny. Everybody be scrambling.
One interesting thing on something Tree said in terms of the idols not creating the crazy moments. I'd almost argue the Shot in the Darks have created those kind of old school, oh my gosh, they're safe moments.
Yes.
In terms of the pop-offs, whether it's Caleb, whether it's Mary this season. I think there's a few more, but it's like when those hit, it's like, oh my gosh. Feels like the old school idol, someone saved themselves.
Right.
But yeah, and then most of the time they just revote and it's a lot less boring because it's like, oh, that person could have chose who they got to vote out, but they have no vote because they shot in the dark. But
right.
Interesting conversation.
We shall see. Well, that wraps up our almost next to last episode of Survivor. Josh?
I was gonna say, since finale next week, let's hear it. Winner prediction.
Joe. I don't care. I've been on the Joe train since episode 2 saying, oh, I think he's gonna win. Don't quote me on that. Please don't go back and check it. But I swear I've been on the Joe train. So I'm sticking with the only other person. I mean, Joe, Kyle, or Camilla, and I think it's Joe for me.
I honestly think it's gonna go Joe, Kyle, Camilla, like 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, I'm holding out hope for Kyle because, like, if any of these episodes show that he could execute a move, and the other time they just chose not to. And so I feel like, okay, they show the jury that they can make a move because this is all Kyle and Camilla, the Shaheen blind side.
They really do deserve some, yeah.
Honestly. And the fact that they high key is still kind of kept the true levels.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hidden in the face of like Joe and Eva, who've been together since like he like came to her during that one immunity challenge.
That is a great point in terms of if one of them is sitting at the end, they're gonna build up that point, and the fact that whoever else is in the jury, whether it's Kyle, whether it's Camilla, will agree with that point and say, yes, we hid this from all of you, and this is why the other person sitting down there should win. That is powerful.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
And you know it would be very interesting. Like I feel like Kyle or Camilla, I don't know if they do this, but they could fabricate so much and they would back each other up. I mean, Camilla knows. Kyle knows what happened, that do. So, I mean, that right there, I would love an upset. I ain't gonna even lie. I would love an upset. I really don't mind for Joe to win because at this point, he's been winning everything. You know what I'm saying? But Kyle or Camilla winning would put the icing on this season for me. Especially since now we're at the end and it's kind of lackluster, in the entertainment department. But I really, really would love to see them convey, when the questions get asked. I really need them to really convince this jury. And I really think it's going to be possible, highly possible that they could, just because I think Camilla and Kyle, what do I want to say? I feel like they can prove themselves in a worthy statement and answer questions to where they can convey a jury to both of them. So we shall see.
Yeah, I feel like a Camilla win would be so fun. Like I can see that vision.
Camilla win. It would give Sandra feels. It really would. It really would.
That's what I was gonna say. Like I feel like low key of the two, I kind of like Camilla's chances better in Final 3 because I feel like she'd have all the outsiders. Because she was never part of that alliance.
I didn't think about that. She did have,
And then she could frame her game like, I was ready to make a move at all times, but Kyle was still too close, was still wanting to kind of ride the coattails off this, benefit off this alliance for way too long.
She really didn't have coattails. She really dug it out the mud herself, honestly. She really only had Kyle looking out for her, and it's on the backside,
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, I honestly, with that, and I feel like if Kyle's there, the other people in that alliance, obviously there's going to be probably at least 3 of them on the jury because David's there, Shaheen's there, and then likely, hopefully, Eve will be there or something. Mm-hmm. I feel like some of them might be better for kind of betraying like that whole loyalty crap they was doing.
Loyalty.
Whatever happens, I feel like the one thing I don't want is both Mitch and Eva in Final 3 because then it'd be clear who the winner would be. If either one of them, I don't care, is there, obvious. Fine. I don't want both of them, so the winner isn't clear. Though the way the season has went, it would not surprise me if both Mitch and Eva are sitting there at the end.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. We shall see.
So close to Big Brother, 1 episode away before being freed from Survivor. So then it's Big Brother time.
Yes, I'm so excited. We finally got a date for Big Brother, July 10th. I'm so excited. Y'all know Big Brother is like the #1 show that we really actually love covering. Not that we don't love covering Survivor. What'd you say, Josh?
I said we just really haven't loved this season of Survivor.
Yes, true. So the tea that we do have, the little bit of information that got released, is that the premiere will be July 10th. And these are all new house guests, so no returning house guests. The schedule for the show will be Sundays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and every other Friday they are starting to do a show called Byyyeee Unlocked, which y'all really could have kept. And that starts July 25th. So we won't get that first week because the premiere is on a Thursday. We will have live feeds. Of course, we will be talking about live feeds. We'll be covering the episodes. One question I do have is, how do y'all feel about the Byyyeee Unlocked? The Byyyeee Unlocked, if y'all don't know that's watching, is they're going to have alumni come in from prior seasons to talk about the show. Or talk about the season, and I guess I'm sure they're gonna incorporate some twists and stuff throughout it. But how do y'all feel about that?
Well,
are y'all for it, against it?
I'll be for it if, like, in between, like, them discussing game stuff. Remember how, like, back at older seasons of Big Brother, like, how Judy would sometimes do private interviews with, like, the HOH in the private bedroom to get their real thoughts?
Yeah.
If they can somehow do that, hook them up in the diary room and like talk to the house guests privately without revealing too much game information, and so we can kind of get, we see the camera talks and stuff, but I feel like it'd be beneficial. Like all those camera talks of people revealing their real intentions. It's unfiltered. It's not like fed to them to like regurgitate out in the dining room to hear their like real time game thoughts in the game. I would like that.
Yeah, I really do miss that when back in the day when Julie would be like, okay, no one can hear you, so let's talk. You know what I'm saying? I do miss that. I miss a lot of things about old school Big Brother. But Eli, how do you feel about it?
First, haven't been able to say this in a while, but Kitty Purr boots down. Shout out to Blue.
No way she's coming.
She's coming. She's coming. I hope you know that.
She.
But in actuality, y'all, this is Big Brother. Josh, you had an amazing idea. I know Big Brother is not going to do that idea. It's going to be, in my head, it's just going to be
great.
What did they do with Taylor Jag and Tony Calafiore?
And
all right, let's recap the season for those that don't, or let's recap the week for those that don't want to watch. Well, it'd be on Friday. That's actually weird. I expected to be before the eviction, but I feel like it's going to be recapping the latest week more so. Hope not, but it's Big Brother. I've watched this to be disappointed.
I'm gonna be very real. I really wish they could have kept it. The one thing that we have been crying about for the longest is I miss having luxury comps, like more of those. The food comps. Why don't y'all dedicate, especially since it's every other Friday, do the food comps on Fridays. Put all the filler on Fridays. You know what I'm saying? Put all the, you know how like at the end of the season, they put all the like funny little conversations we've missed. You can do that throughout the episode, but only the entertaining stuff, please. But I'm gonna be very real. If I'm watching a season of New House Guests, I only want to hear about the New House Guests. And they've done so. I feel like we've done so much like returnees, and we've seen so much of prior castmates. I'm kind of like off them right now. Like I really don't want to see nobody at this point. The only person I'm trying to see is Julie 10 and 16 of the people that I've never seen or met or even heard of in my life. Like that's what I'm interested in seeing.
Trees is just upset that Turbina's done. I get it.
I am. Rest in peace. They did break up. They did. Tucker and Rubina are no longer together. Am I surprised? No.
Heard you.
Are you surprised that Mackenzie and Matt are still going strong and steady somehow?
Yes.
That's the relationship of BB 26.
And I know they were on the phone together wherever they at, and I know Mackenzie was like, "Ooh, guess who we beat?" Like I know it is. Has Chelsea and Mackenzie, have they hung out? Are they still like somewhat beefing? I just realized I haven't seen them like together since at all. Like besides,
no idea
when it was everybody. Because she felt some type of way because obviously she got played. I don't know. But once again, I'm excited for a new season. We have the finale coming up next week. You know what? That is a long way. We might do the episode Thursday. How you feel about Thursday? I don't know. We'll talk about it. But yeah, we might possibly do Thursday. But while you guys are here, don't forget to follow us at YouTube and turn on those notification bells at Who All Gonna Be Their podcast. And also follow us on Twitter at Who All There. We need to make us a Blue Sky. We're gonna make a Blue Sky and we'll be at the new name because there are quite a few people are moving over to Blue Sky, and I'm over there and I need to be more over there. Anyways, and also, do we have a Blue Sky already?
No, we just have the pop-up for it. I don't know. We might. I don't know.
Like, dang, we're fast over here. We get there quick.
I just made it. No.
You're quick, Mr. Tech Guy. So also follow us on Instagram at Who All There to stay up on what we're gonna cover for the season for the rest of the summer. After Survivor, we'll take a little break, but we will pop in here and there before the premiere of Big Brother. If there's anything you guys want to talk about, hear about, or if you guys just want to chat, we'll pop on and we'll entertain you guys. So thank you guys for listening. Once again, y'all have a good night.
Bye.
Now we didn't say